H3 Music.
Welcome to Cole's Corner. It's me, your host, Cole Johnson. Thank you for listening, however you may be listening, wherever you may be listening. We are here on WMCB, the Fuse from the basement of Medina College, home of the Mavericks. Good afternoon. It's it's dark, it's a Tuesday, it's also September 11th, and we honor the 17th anniversary of that dreadful day in New York City and all over the United States of America. But this episode today brought to you by Beyond the Box Score. Here, Cole Johnson in studio, ready to talk some sports. We have a lot to get to. It's a big day. Just sports. We just opened up with the NFL. Week 1. Oh, what a week it was. A lot of surprising things. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming. But let's jump right into it. Something that it's been on my mind for a while now. Le'Veon Bell. I want to bring him into a word that I have used in the past. It's a word. It's two words, really. It's a phrase. No one knows what it is, really. It's kind of a made-up thing. My cousin Sam and his friends used to use it. I've used it for years now. Black ace. Kind of just like a black ace is just somebody, just a jerk. Someone doing something stupid, foolish. Just black ace. You're a black ace. And Le'Veon Bell has taken the belt for this year's Black Ace Award, and here's why. Bell turned down a $70 million deal, maybe even higher. We didn't get a full report on exactly what the deal was from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he wanted more money. He turned that down, and instead, the Steelers franchise tag him, despite him threatening to retire if he was franchise tagged again, which he was last season. And now, not only did he not take the money, this man is deciding to hold out. And he was sitting on his couch watching his Pittsburgh Steelers, all his brothers, all his teammates, Sunday afternoon, watching them tie with a Cleveland team that hasn't won a game since 2016. And he's on the bench watching the game. He tweeted right after the conclusion of that game with one of those emojis, looking up, I wonder what's happening. You're sitting on the... Pathetic. It's hard for me to feel bad for him. There's nothing really to feel bad for him for. He's turning down all that money because he wants more money. Anyway, Le'Veon Bell is like the spoiled child in a huge, successful family. His great-grandparents were astronauts, owned a large estate, a fenced-in community. His grandparents continued the tradition of money, high-stakes family, ran the biggest restaurant chain in the state. His parents were Harvard graduates, in which the father became the dean of a prestigious private school and the mother became the best surgeon in the state. He was one of the 11 children in the immediate family. They were all groomed to be successful the right way, by working hard and earning what you get. Le'Veon is that one kid in the family who starts trouble, always late to class, gets sent to the office at least once a week, got suspended for smoking in the bathroom, expects to get royal treatment just because of his family's past and his good looks, athletic ability, and whatnot. Able to get girls, can get girls whenever he wants, can hang out with all the cool people. He thinks he should get all the right treatment in the world. Le'Veon goes to family gatherings and stays for 5 minutes and leaves, but expects to get more love and attention than any of his brothers and sisters. But if he doesn't get it, here's the ticker, he throws a fit. Gets jealous, selfish, just every which way you could get. His parents know that he's a troubled kid. He's the struggle of the family, but they won't give up on him. Because if he turned it around, he could be the most successful kid just based on his raw abilities. The parents go and buy him a new car just to calm him down, shut him up. Maybe turn his fortune around. Just turn his life. Just make him respect his family a little more. Get some love in that body. No, he turns it down. Instead, he runs off with his friends, gets in more trouble, threatens to never come back to the family unless they give him more than the car that they just offered him. His parents are giving him a car. He's turning it down. They go on a family retreat with family building exercises, fun games. Just a real fun weekend out in the middle of nowhere. You learn a lot about each other. It's a real good family time. Le'Veon stays home. And instead of telling his siblings that he's not going, he has one of his friends tell him for him. Now, this isn't really Le'Veon Bell's family. I don't know what Le'Veon Bell family is like, but this family is the Pittsburgh Steelers, the one I just referred to. Long-time successful franchise. A lot of successful family members. A lot of rings. He's part of a good team that has tools to win the Super Bowl. But he wants more money, so he sits at home while Big Ben throws 5 interceptions to the Cleveland Browns. Yes, it's a business. We understand that. NFL players are businessmen playing a game. That's the reality of it. And that's what it has turned to. But at the same time, if you're Le'Veon, you're out there playing for your brothers. You're out there playing for all the diehard Pittsburgh fans that come spend ungodly amounts of money each and every fall to come watch you play. And you're going to just sit there and sit out and watch your team struggle because you want more money. Yes, you changed the game the way the football is ran. Running backs, he created this new style of being patient back there, cutting. Le'Veon Bell he's a specimen of running backs that we haven't seen before. Put your pride aside for a minute. Go out and play the game you love. You only get pro football career once in your life. Once. He's going to throw that away by sitting and watching his team lose. He's going to lose all the relationships he built over the years. He's going to lose respect, not only within his circle and his team, but outside of that circle. All of his criticizers, they're going to get even worse. His friends, his family, they're going to start looking down on him. Because he is putting money ahead of every relationship, any kind of good thing that he has worked towards away. And it's tough to see. And yes, it's a business. This is going to happen sometimes. But it's just, when it comes to football, it doesn't help the league either. When you have one of your star players sitting out, and it's not because he's injured. We already have to deal with that enough. Last year was a terrible year in the NFL. All of our star players went down. Carson Wentz, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers. And we're not dealing with an injury here. We're dealing with just pure ignorance, selfishness, just sitting and watching his team struggle. They just tied with the Cleveland Browns on week 1. Anyway, that's it. Hot take headlines. Headlines from the weekend. Just mentioned, Browns do not start the season with a loss for the first time since 2004. Can you even believe that? That's 14 years ago that the Browns have not lost their opening game. They've lost the opening game of the season for 13 years straight until now. Unbelievable. Buccaneers with Ryan Fitzpatrick at the helm. Jameis Winston on his 3-game suspension. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's bounced around the league. He's shown some signs of greatness. but also a lot of terrible as well. Fitzpatrick destroys the Saints defense, which came out of nowhere last year and played well, and is why they were one of the top teams in the NFC. They thought the defense was going to be better this year. They gave up 48 points. It's a 48-40 shootout in week 1. Talk about a headline right there. Aaron Rodgers caught my attention real quick on Sunday night. He always has my attention. Love that dude. But he went down injured, and it didn't look good. He was a couple centimeters away from tearing that knee up. He was going to be done again. He gets back, comes back in the game, trailing to the Chicago Bears and Mitch Trubisky 20-0. Brings the Pack down from that 20-0 deficit, wins up the hookup with Cobb, 64-yard go-ahead score with a couple minutes left. It's a great Sunday night game to start off the year. Jimmy G, Mr. Garoppolo, Mr. Sunshine, heading over to San Fran. Hasn't lost a game as a starting quarterback yet in his career until Sunday, as they lose 24-16 in Minnesota. I tell you, Minnesota looks good. Their defense looks good. Their defense looks great. And after what I saw Sunday, I don't know if the Saints are my favorite anymore. I think it's okay to be patient. They'll be okay, but I think Minnesota right now, and after they're showing week 1, has the best team in the NFC. So with that, there's your hot take headlines from the weekend. Recap of week 1. A lot of good things. A lot of crazy things happened. Just a lot of unexpected things. And how about last night? Another headline. Sam Darnold throws a pick 6 on his very first NFL pass attempt. But he turns it around, throws 2 touchdowns. The Jets demolish Detroit in Detroit on Monday night. Beat him by 30. A rookie quarterback comes in on a Monday night on the road and wins by 30. And yes, you could put a lot of credit to the Jets defense, who had 4 picks, 1 return for a touchdown, and then a punt return touchdown as well. Still, showed signs of great football there from Sam Darnold. And just bouncing back from your first ever throw in the NFL, being picked off and brought back to the house, that shows a lot of toughness, a lot of guts there from Darnold. Jets look good. Lions, terrible. We'll see how each team can turn it around, but yeah, it's just. And then last night's Monday Night Football game, the second one, John Gruden back in his place as head coach in Oakland after a 10-year hiatus. John Gruden takes the loss, goes from the booth on Monday night down to the field on Monday night and gets spanked. They had the lead. They're up 13-10 in the third quarter. They were tied at 13 for the longest time towards the end of the third, and then it just went away. Derek Carr lost everything he had going for him. Kind of looked like Derek Carr put pressure on himself in a non-pressure situation and just let that game get away from him. A lot of bad throws. And then the icing on the cake, the pick 6 to Marcus Peters, who LA just picked up in this offseason, adding to that torrential defense. That defense is, I don't know who's going to score on the Rams. We'll see that moving forward. But my first dollar take, the $1 take, let's get right into it. The franchise tag in the NFL. Kind of thought of this the other day. Just kind of connecting it to Le'Veon Bell made me bring it up, as he's been franchise tagged a couple times now. We saw it with Kirk Cousins in Washington for the longest time until finally got away from there. Ends up in Minnesota. The franchise tag in the NFL, is it or is it not like friends with benefits? Friends with benefits, something, I don't know about the older crowd knowing about this. My grandparents, that generation, maybe even the parents. There was a movie about it. Mila Kunis, Justin Timberlake, good movie. But originally, and I'll get to that in a minute, originally the NFL franchise tag was designed to reduce player movement to bigger markets. Something that we've seen in other sports like the NBA. The The franchise tag has kept guys in their respective organizations, allowing that team to lock them down. Lock down their most valued player while still being able to make moves up and down the roster. It's a win for the organization. Sometimes it's a loss for the player if they don't want to stay there, if they feel like they're kind of stuck, and it could create a hostile environment, and it can get messy. And that's why it's like friends with benefits. You're just hanging out. You're leading each other on. You're together, but you're not together. You're leading each other on. In the NFL, it's more and more money being put on the table each time. It gets messy. And in the end, someone always gets hurt. See, friends with benefits, you're connected. You have fun. You could be together, but you don't want to take that extra step. But it gets weird when you show interest in someone else, kind of like in the NFL. Show interest in another player, like, ooh, they're looking at that guy. Oh, man, get jealous. What? It's a low-key jealousy, but at the same time, you have no right to be jealous. But then at the same time, you're also locked down, but not really. It's really messy, like I said. Really messy. In football, whether it's the organization or the player, someone is not going to be happy at the end of the day. And that's the kind of situation we have in Pittsburgh with Le'Veon Bell. That friends with benefits there is not good. It's getting a little messy, and he's holding out. He's sitting there not playing. It's either friends with benefits. It's the woman. She's not happy with what's happening. She feels locked down, but at the same time, she still wants to be with the guy. But now she sees the guy kind of not giving her what she wants. He's talking to other girls too. She's holding out. She's ignoring him. She's leaving him on red for a while. And that's the thing with the NFL. That's what's happening in Pittsburgh. Le'Veon Bell sitting on his couch watching the Steelers play football right now. No one knowing when he's going to come back. So, NFL franchise tag and friends with benefits. Think about that one. Sure you never thought that was going to come out of my mouth. On to the $50 take. Let's put $50 on the table. This one, outperforming contracts. Something I haven't touched on a lot, but it's come to my attention. And outperforming your contract is really what leads to big extensions like we've seen recently. Aaron Rodgers getting that big money. OBJ getting the big money for the Giants. We see a lot of the young stars in this sport being on a rookie contract and not making what they really should be, but they're on a rookie contract and eventually they're going to get paid. But if you think about it right now, how about in the MLB, Aaron Judge, Ronald Acuna of the Atlanta Braves, NFL, Todd Gurley still on a rookie contract, etc. You see a guy like Dak Prescott making $750,000, being the quarterback for America's team, and the standout rookie season that he had, and you really start to wonder how much that man should be making, and he will eventually. But if you think about it in terms of right now, he's not making nearly as much as he should. But this is where it gets interesting. Because really what it all comes down to is how valued you are by your organization. If you are a great asset, you're going to get paid. Eventually. If you're not, they're going to cut ties with you. You're going to be kept at the same salary. You're going to be pushed off to the side. See, it relates to the real business world. Talk about an office job for a minute. If you go to your office job every day, show up early, always ready to go, energetic, always contribute great ideas in the meetings, put in the most quality work in a timely fashion, you're valued, you're most likely outperforming your salary. And that's going to lead to big bucks. Those are the people who will eventually get the big bucks with a promotion. Better job. You might get transferred somewhere. And within the same company. Let's not get that confused with transferred as in traded in the NFL or any other sport here. If you're a huge asset to your organization, you're going to get paid. It's patience. Patience is what will take you far. And the first one I think of right now, Dak Prescott. He'll get there. Ezekiel Elliott. Both Cowboys playing on America's team. They're going to get paid. Todd Gurley's going to get paid. You got to get through that rookie contract. Be patient. Outperform your contract, and everything will go the way you want it to go. And like I said millions of times, it's a business. It's a business. You're an asset. Assets go far. If you're one of those that complains about how much you make, don't take it seriously. Go through the motions every day at work, just watching the clock tick until 3, 4 o'clock. You create problems within the work environment. It makes it that much easier for you to get cut, keep you from getting the salary you want. And the NFL, that's why you see a guy like Des Bryant not on an NFL roster right now. Could he be? Yeah. He could still go out and make plays. But he's not. He's a bad teammate. Caused problems. Didn't show up on time. Skipped meetings. And we see guys like that all the time. But some of them get second chances. Some of them, they get the benefit of the doubt even if they shouldn't. But why put yourself in that position of risk? Go out there. Go to the team meetings early. Go to every practice. Help out your teammates. If you're doing that while making plays on the field, you're going to be a huge asset, valued by your team. You're going to get paid. If that's all you're worried about, you're going to get paid. Patience. That's what it takes. Outperforming your contract. Not underperforming. Outperform your contract. If you think you're doing a great job, do an even greater job. Outperform it. They'll come back to get you. $100 take. Moving on. Putting $100 on the table here. This is a little more deep now. I love sports. I love them. Everything about it. Except, I've mentioned when you get too far into politics, I'm not a big fan of that. And then this is the big one, the big ticker. Things get washed away far too easily in the sports world. In sports, we work on a day-to-day basis. We talk about what's happening at the moment. We focus on a lot of things that matter, but even more things that don't matter. We focus on things that aren't relevant. They don't need to be talked about. We find things to talk about to stir up the debate with our crazy fans. We just want to get a kick out of the fans. We want more social media followers. We want more clicks on the internet. YouTube videos. We find pictures of Tom Brady on the beach with his wife Giselle. And trash Brady for how out of shape he looks. Question his TB12 method. We stir up unnecessary narratives involving LeBron James and who he's taking pictures with other NBA players in the league in an open gym. Who cares? LeBron James can do whatever he wants right now. LeBron James right now is the best player in NBA. And still in the debate for the GOAT topic, along with Michael Jordan, which I'm going to say right now, different eras, can't compare them together. But that's for a different day. We're talking about Tom Brady and LeBron James while they're off doing their own thing. They're people too. Why are we focusing on what they're doing on the beach? How about we talk about important issues that happen on a more regular basis? A player abuses the drug policy conduct for the third time. It's talked about for 2 or 3 days. We get bored of it. It's forgotten. A couple weeks later, they're on the field. They're on the court again. It's like nothing ever happened. He's that little kid's number one player because he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know he's abusing the drug policy. Well, the adults, they don't care. If he's out there scoring touchdowns, he's out there putting up 40 points. They don't care. Talk about player committing domestic abuse. Talk about that for a while. And their court dates, they get pushed back. Then we have the appeal process that takes who knows how long. Before we know it, they're back on the field. They're back on the court. In a matter of no time. Recently, we talked about Urban Meyer and the allegations at Ohio State. It was a good 3 weeks we talked about it in the sports world. Meyer lied about knowing about his assistant Zach Smith abusing his wife Courtney, who told Urban's wife through text messages. He lied about it at Big Ten Media Day. Finally, they come to a decision. They suspend Meyer only 3 games after knowing this for years. And we haven't heard a word since. Yeah, Ohio State's playing today. Who they playing? Oh, yeah, they're going to win by 40. Oh, this is the big day. They're playing Michigan. Yeah, the big rivalry. Let's go. Urban Meyer's going to lead them to a win. Yeah, that's going to happen. Next couple weeks. Ohio State's this whole thing's going to be washed away. No one cares. They're going to have a good year. Get a bowl game win. Urban Meyer will build upon his legacy as a coach in D1 football. But no one will remember the things he covered up. That he knew about domestic abuse. Hey, he had a problem back in Florida. When he was in Florida. No one talks about that. It's a never-ending cycle. Urban Meyer is just another example